Well, that is wonderful. Now, yep, a couple of heads up. And then some lying down, not moving. Oh, wonderful. Looks like the whole pride is here. I can just see some of them are behind some trees. I don't think you'll see them. But this is much better weather for potential movement compared to yesterday afternoon when we were sitting with that Styx pride, the other pride of lions. Remember how hot it was yesterday afternoon, and those lions hardly moved. They moved out of the drainage line where they were, or that dry riverbed, and went and lay on the bank and just carried on sleeping. It was so hot. And I think they probably only got active much later. Now, there's a very cool breeze, and also, with it being so windy, these might be good conditions for these lions to hunt. So possibly, if we're lucky, we're going to be patient. We're going to sit with these lions. Maybe we get them getting up, moving around, and possibly trying to hunt a bit later. But for now, they are resting. So we're going to sit tight. Let's go across to Ali, who's apparently heading towards a dam. Well, at the moment, it doesn't look like it. Now, I'm trying to make a decision here. I think it might be worth us driving around a little bit and then coming back in about half an hour or so, because there hasn't been much movement and possibly these lions are still just trying to rest. And you can see that wound on that lioness. It's not looking bad, but it's not ideal. That poor lioness. It's don't know what caused that wound. I would assume it was from hunting something. I'm sure you can hear the wind at the moment. It is quite strong. I don't know if it's going to rain this afternoon. Maybe this evening. Maybe this brings in a storm. Often if it is very windy, it could just be very windy and not rain. So I'm not sure. But I was speaking about it earlier. In bad weather like this, or when it rains, lions and leopards often do go out and hunt. It's a little bit easier for them to hide, masks their smell, the sound, everything, so they can stalk up really close and hunt whatever it is they're looking for. I think, you know what, I think I'm going to leave these lions. I'm not going to sit here now for too long, but I will come back a little bit later. I just think that for the moment, they seem quite relaxed, very comfortable, and possibly just trying to conserve some more energy until a little bit later. So let's drive around a bit. I have, and we have some heads up at the moment. So I'd followed up on those guinea fowl alarm call. There was a predator around, just not one with rosettes. It was a Wahlberg's eagle. So those guinea fowl obviously would be nervous of the Wahlbergs. The Wahlbergs do catch and hunt birds, and that's what it was. And as we got there, the Wahlbergs flew off. But it just shows you those guinea fowl, their alarm calls, when a whole group of them alarm call like that, there's definitely something there. It could be a bird of prey, it could be a snake, and it could also be a leopard. So that's why we went to go and have a look. But it was a Wahlberg's eagle. Anyway, I'm hoping that now we've come back, the temperature's dropped quite a bit. It feels quite chilly at the moment. So I'm hoping these lions decide to get a bit active and move around. But I'm not sure. Joan, so no, the lions don't purr. and I don't think lions are able to purr. The only big cat that can purr, and that purring sound that we would associate with cats, the only big cat that can do it is a cheetah. A cheetah do purr, but lions do not. Lions do not. Their voice box is slightly different, and I don't think they have the ability to purr. Too much of that cartilage and the bone in the throat that allows them to roar. Same with leopards. Leopards also do not. Ali's got a reptile heading into the water. Yeah, it's definitely... I don't think it's as windy as it is there. I know what Chitwa Dam is like. We've got some yawns, so there's a bit of activity, stretching, cleaning, grooming one another. So we might be lucky, and these lions might decide to get up. I do, however, hope that they walk this way. I'll tell you why. It's because if they go away from us, that bush is so thick, we won't be able to follow them through there. I can tell you that now. It would be extremely difficult. We'll have to drive around and wait on the other side, and hopefully they come through. I was laughing at Ali saying she'd love to have was it a waterbuck? Yeah, a young waterbuck. But Tristan would get upset. With all the ticks. Yeah, I would imagine. Couple goals in the bush, finding a pet that you both are comfortable with. It's very difficult to have pets out here. Not a good idea. I was just thinking about Chitwa Dam, and I haven't been there yet on this. No, I've driven past, but I haven't spent time there. So maybe tomorrow I'm going to ask if I may be allowed to go to Chitwa. Have a look at this one on the left. Yeah. Cool breeze. The lions, you know what, to be honest, I don't know how they decide it's time to go. It's just when they feel comfortable, when they feel like they've rested enough, when they feel like it's cool enough that they don't exert too much energy, then they'll get up and move. I just want to try and maneuver off to the side here quickly. Hold on a second. Sorry, Sims, I just want to try and get a view of these playful lions. But while I do that, Ali seems to have found those goats. Well, there has been a bit of movement, and these lions are still cleaning one another, but heads are up. So far more movement than when we found them earlier on drive. But it is still, you know what, the best way to describe the weather is it is a bit miserable at the moment. There's no other way to describe it. It's wonderful and cool, which I'm really enjoying the cool weather from the heat that we had yesterday. And but the wind and that does make it a bit miserable, and I think this is hot chocolate and safari live weather. Maybe I'm going to head back to camp, and then I'll watch Tristan and Ali for the rest of the drive while I have some hot chocolate. What do you think, Senza? Big boss man Tristan apparently gave Kirsta beady eye. Gave Kirsta beady eye and shook his head. So that's a no-no. I wonder if Tristan's going to give me a disciplinary after this. There's a little bit of playfulness on the left, Sensei. Have a look. Yeah, see these young lions. Oh, there we go. As soon as one gets bitten, then there's no more playfulness. Young lions are always really great to watch because they do get very playful and they, look at that, nice stretching and jump on one another, especially when the pride starts to move and they get quite active. So quiet. There are a few birds calling in the distance. Cape turtle dove. Sounded like perhaps a scrub robin. So there are a few birds calling. Not seeing too many of them. I think they're holding on tightly in this wind. Probably well hidden. Heard some arrowmark babblers earlier too. So the birds are out. I did see that little cub, but it's hidden from us at the moment. It's lying a little bit further to the left with another lioness, basically through that tree, through the back there. That's us. I don't think you'll see it, but it's in there somewhere. See a bit there. I don't know. Don't worry about it, Senzo. We'll wait and see if or when they start moving. Hopefully, get to see them. Well, there is a bit of movement, Ali. There is a bit. I'm glad you got to see Tingana again. So I'm assuming he's in the same place he was this morning. And but these lions. There's every now and then one of them will stand up and move around, and then lay down, and then another one will do the same. So not a lot of movement, but their heads they're definitely more active than the pride we saw yesterday. Oh, and I'm so. Hold on, Sense. Let me try this quickly. Sorry. I'll tell you why, because the little cub is hiding in here, but there seems to be a lot of activity from them just through here. Maybe we can get a view if I go over here. Senzo, is that alright? Can you get them through there? Let's see. Maybe we can show you a little bit of the activity from here. Some of the sub-adults. But the little cub is in there, just to the left. It's hiding there. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Very cute. Now, earlier, one of these sub-adults walked up to the cub and they were having a bit of a standoff. Steve, so there are animals that obviously carry diseases out in the wild. Not like mad cow, but let's see. Maybe this youngster climbs into the tree, this dead tree. Sometimes they do that. They get a bit curious and active. Steve, so these lions last year, they had a disease called white muscle disease, and they got that from a food deficiency. They weren't getting, I don't think they were getting enough fat and the nutrients that they need from their food. So it causes the muscles to stiffen up and can cause the lions to die, but they managed to get through it okay. And then they can sometimes get mange. So mange can occur in some of these animals, also with drought and that. What else? Wild dogs get canine distemper. They sometimes pick up from, well, we don't really know how they pick it up at times. Occasionally, well, the most plausible cause is getting in contact with feral dogs. But yeah, I think, what else? The buffalo, the Cape buffalo that we have in this area, they get a bovine tuberculosis at times, but that's also from being in contact with local cattle and that, so that can spread quite easily. But you know, generally the animals are healthy, and those diseases can kind of come and go, or only affects them when they get much older and they are weak. Then the chances are probably higher that disease is going to affect them and they're going to die from it. But generally the animals are healthy. There's a little cub playing with, well, I think he's being picked on. He or she's being picked on at the moment. It is very peaceful sitting, watching the lions. Well, I'm still going to sit and wait. I think it might be worth our while. I'm hoping so. But let's go back to Ali with that male leopard and see what Tingana is up to. Yeah, we've got a little bit of activity here. A little cub. Isn't that cute? I'm picking up little sticks and... Oh. Cool breeze. I don't think animals experience boredom like we do. You know, and I do say this often. I think we need to be very, very careful of anthropomorphizing animals too much, giving them human emotions, like boredom. I mean, that I think would be very unfair to assume that they get bored. I don't think so. Animals do what they need to. Lions, they rest during the day. That's general lion behavior. I don't think it's because of boredom or anything. Even the playfulness that we're seeing now, from them waking up, and you can just see that little cub. It's a bit tricky. Hold on, let me reverse. I don't know if it'll help. Maybe. Oh no, as I say that, the cub decides it's had enough. Maybe it's going to go and bother someone else. Hold on, I'll move forward now. So I don't think it's definitely, actually, it's not I don't think, it's definitely not boredom. Definitely not boredom. Oh wow, this one to the left was stretching and clawing away at the bark of the tree. What is it doing? That's really interesting. Jumped into that tree. I don't know if it saw something. Let me just reverse a little bit. I don't know if it saw something go up into that tree. I don't think so. Doesn't look like it. I haven't seen any movement there. Got up very quickly. No, I think it's just being a boisterous youngster. It sounds like Tingana's on the move, so let's go across to Ali and see where that male leopard is going. Some of these youngsters jumping on one another and clawing at the trees. Yeah, let's see. I wonder. There's two youngsters at the back. Just keep an eye on them. Let's just wait and watch, because they have been bouncing up and down there a little bit. Now all that clawing and tree scraping would probably be just to clean the claws and stretch them out a little bit. First lady, do lion claws grow back if they break them? I don't think so. No, I don't think they do. I think if they lose a claw, I think it's gone. But I stand to correction. See, I've never seen a lion with a missing claw before. I've seen them with missing teeth, broken teeth and that, and those teeth don't grow back. So I don't think the claws do. But like I said, I've never seen a lion with a broken claw. It's difficult to see because they're retractable. So unless the claws are out, we're not going to know if there's a broken claw or not. Watch, you're going to get to... What? There you go. A little bit of playful behavior. That's what we wanted. That's what we wanted to see. Lions jumping on each other, starting to wake up. See, and all this playful behavior is constantly strengthening the bonds between the pride. Look, did you notice that lioness? Look how her ears are pinned back. Now that is what we refer to, not that one, sorry, that one that was walking there. She pinned her ears right back when she was growling at the others. And that is that agnostic behavior, aggressive behavior. So if you were walking and you had to bump into a lion, that's the look you're going to get. You're going to get the ears pinned back, and the lion probably growling at you if you had to bump into them. And when they fight, they do the same. Cheryl, we're very far from Tingana. Tingana's on Chitwa. So it's about a 20-minute drive, I would say, from here. Maybe less. Maybe if we just had to drive straight away, about 15-minute drive to where Tingana is. I would say maybe 10 or so kilometers, maybe a bit more, about 10 kilometers. So what is that? 6 miles, maybe, at least, I would say, somewhere around there. Sure. Getting a bit chilly out here. See, also eating grass. We saw Hukumuri, that male leopard that we found the other day. We saw him eating grass too. And it's not because the lions are becoming herbivores. They're doing it to help with digestion and help clean the stomach. Sometimes causes them to regurgitate.
We see a lot of young ducks fairly soon as well. Very cool looking bird though, isn't it? It's a bit weird looking. Anyway, while we carry on and try and see what else we can find, still no luck with Tundi. Let's send you back across to Byron, who's, well, fared far better than we have this afternoon.
Yep, I think we have. And now these lions are starting to get up and move, but in the wrong direction, not the direction we wanted them to go. But we'll see where they decide to move. They could possibly move a few meters to the other side of this. This is where the old hyena den was. They could possibly move a few meters down this little track and then decide to lie down again. But we will try to stay with them for as long as possible. Well, Jessica, you know what? If one lion is old or sick, the rest of the pride, they just watch this playfulness. Look at that. It's amazing. Jessica, the rest of the pride has to continue with living their life. They can't stop and stay in one area if there's no food or water. They need to carry on. It is survival of the fittest out there. If a lioness or a lion is old, can't keep up with the pride, or is sick or injured, if it can't keep up, the rest of the pride will still hunt. And they will allow it to obviously feed, so they'll still provide food for it. But if it can't keep up, they're not going to just hang around and wait, because that could potentially be to the detriment of the pride. So they need to look after themselves first. They won't necessarily change their behavior purely because one lion is sick. Let's see where they're going. I'm going to try and move through here quickly. A lot of these youngsters chasing each other. Oh, this little cub, it's at the back here. I don't want to startle it. Let's just wait. Oh, this looks beautiful. Hold on. Look at that. A whole line of lions walking through the bush. That is lovely. I'm just trying to think where these lions are going to go. See, they could potentially... I don't know. They, but that is a beautiful view. Look at that. Magnificent. Now, I would think maybe, even though it's cool, they might head towards some water. The nearest water to where we are now is Gallagher Pan. But they're heading more in a almost directly east. Slightly southeast. So... I'm not sure. But just as we thought, with the day getting a bit, well, it's been cool for a while, but now they've obviously rested enough, and they're deciding it's time to start moving and potentially look for something to hunt. Perfect conditions, very windy, and it will help the lions. It will definitely aid the lions. And I think this pride is due for some food, because they do look hungry. They do look very hungry. So hopefully they will be lucky this evening. Grateful Dad, the lions, you know what, I actually think they've spotted something. Just judging by the behavior, you just see. because this lioness is circling around back this way. Look at that. That's different. So Grateful Dad. I think they may head into the wind so they can hear and smell a bit better. But the wind is kind of swirling a little bit. So as long as it stays really windy. Where does this lion want to go? See, that's interesting behavior. The rest of the pride are going that way. And she's definitely circling around. Now, I've seen lions do this before. One or two may head around. If they see potential prey, they'll loop around and actually and try and chase whatever prey it is that they've seen towards the other lions. Lions have been known to do that. It makes perfect sense. Allow the rest of the pride to lie in ambush and then go around and potentially try to chase whatever it is towards them. But I don't know what they've seen, if they've seen anything. I'm trying to have a look at youngsters. Well, that one's curious as to where the other lion went. I'm going to go forward a little bit. Let's see if we can have a look if they've spotted something in the bush. Now these thick areas could be ideal for kudu or nyala. Could also be the odd impala through here, but I don't know. Sorry, there's a stump here. There we go. Okay, I'm not going to go further. I want to chase the youngsters. But let's try to scan this through the bush here a little bit and just see if I can see any movement. You see, that's the thing. The lion's eyesight is so good. Also, did they perhaps smell something? Oh, sorry. So I don't know if they smelled something or if they did see some movement. But the others are moving off in the opposite direction now to where this the lioness walked past us. This little cub is now left behind. Probably start following soon. I don't think it'll stay away from the rest of the pride. Obviously knows maybe they're hunting, so There's Zinyala that running past us. And a Steenbok. Oh, the lions are going. Just as I thought. Inyala running through here. And I think that other lioness drove them straight towards these lions. But I think the Inyala darted off in the wrong direction. But how's that? They've obviously picked up on their scent or the smell. This little cub, I think, knew it has to stay here. It has to wait for the lions to come back. And there it goes.